Oh, well, hello there, folks. This is Dan here. I'm back. I've given it some thought about what I put out on my last video, and I kind of got in a little trouble. I came up with a drum idea. I didn't have my pack-on drum perfected, and I went to a comedy club. And I decided to try out my theory with the drum. They had a really good comedian up there, and I borrowed a drum from a member of the band that plays in the club. He told me he had a drum, and I borrowed it, and I loved that comedian so much that I decided that I was going to beat my drum to root for him. And what happened was the crowd picked me to go up on stage, and I wasn't prepared for the routine. They turned me into a comedian myself. It was terrible, folks. Terrible, but I got through it. I carried my own drum on stage, and I beat my own rhythm and made good sense, but people still don't want to hear my theory. I'm starting to think that I don't want to be a comedian, folks. I did that. They never paid me a dime. I had to and then when I got done, I must have brought the roof down on the place because there wasn't anybody in there when I left, when I climbed off stage. So, oh boy, we are in for some times today, folks. I'm telling you, I'm sitting here behind this old 1956 Chevy wheel, looking at the way technology has changed through the years. How in the heck did we put up with this crap? Look at this. Not very good lighting in here right now because the car's sitting. That's what happens to these old cars. They just sit. They don't have the technology of the new cars. I need to adjust my Memorex here to point out some things. Now, these cars never had all the amenities that our new cars have. I don't even know how people can drive them. Look at this stuff. No cruise control on the wheel. All the fog emission stuff not on the motor. I don't have push button stereo. I don't have power electric seats. I don't have any air conditioning in this vehicle, which is unheard of in this day and age. I tell you, if you don't start listening to me, we are going to go back to driving things like this, and then your cars are going to sit too. You need to pay attention to what I'm saying. You know, without all the amenities that these new cars have, it's a wonder this thing even runs. All that stuff makes them just purr. I love technology, folks. And now let's get back to it. I have to wear this hat now. Whoop. That's another thing. These old cars, they don't have camera holders. The new cars, you can put a camera anywhere. They come with their own holder right from the factory, most of them. My goodness, folks, it's terrible. Okay, now here's my theory. And I'm going to get a lot of people... Oh, forgive me for not wearing my coat. It went through a brainstorm. Yeah, I had to brainwash it. So it's going through some problems, but I still got my hat. But I'm serious on this. Excuse my photography expertise moments. Sometimes I get so serious I lose track of where my camera's pointed. This is some serious thing here, though. And I got to wear this hat to keep your attention because you guys don't take me serious yet. And I am above and beyond myself on this. I even got my old shit hat on, so I haven't lost my mind over it. But I have to wear this to get your attention. Now that you understand why I'm wearing that hat, let's get right down to business. And I'll tip this camera and explain. These darn cars don't have a camera holder. I gotta prop it up here to where it is sufficient for my actions. If you dispute this, then send me a better car. All right, now let's get right down to the point here, folks. I believe that our great society and our country can be changed if we get all sport functionalities on board. The NBA, the NFL, the National Hockey League, NHL, all of those associations, even things overseas where the United States is affiliated in sports, like the Olympics. All this money, folks. Now, sports, the playoff games are a big, major thing in this country. And what I want to do is I want to talk to the people, and I want to tell them, all this money you're making on sport, I want to take one game in your playoffs and turn the profits towards our deficit of this country. This great country can be fixed with one game. This might take a couple years to do it. But boy, look at the opportunity. Americans can rise above debt. No more deficit. As long as I've been alive, I can remember deficit in this country. I don't know all of the causes for our debt, but it's time for change like I've always preached. And this is the time. All them NHL, NFL, NBA, everything. One game, all the profits. And I'm sure the sports managers and the players would be on board for this, knowing that a game that they give can save war to the country and the world and save lives just by them donating the profits of one playoff game. Now, you think about this, because I know I'm right. If I'm not, I'll be left. I'm going to stake my stand on this, and I'll keep some more videos coming at you. In the meantime, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with this car. I can't drive it nowhere. It doesn't have all the common commodities that I'm used to. No tilt control wheel, well, you understand the negativities of this. And the reason I'm in this car is to point out, this is how far we've came in technology. We don't want to go back to this stuff that I'm in right here. This car, no. It's terrible. I don't push a button on my dash. I got to reach over to adjust the time on the clock. 13 years after this car was made, mankind went to the moon. How did they do it when they had to learn from driving contraptions like this? I just don't get it, folks. Anyway, let's move on with the world. Let's move on with our country. Let's get on board with this sports idea. I'll keep my drums to myself for now until I figure out the best place to play them. And I thank you. Godspeed. Thanks for hearing my mind, and let's make my mind be heard throughout the country and change the world. Thank you.